Alright, so basically, this might be my most controversial video depending on how you feel about the whole topic. Really just boils down to that. Um, I know my setup looks janky and all that. I'm just using my PS4. I don't have any gameplay to have in the background, and I'm not gonna try to fight with trying to fix my OBS or my laptop. Um, Now this video may or may not be long. I'm not sure because when I try to like this video is like multiple takes because I tried to like make it like longer or not try to make it longer, but I try to like really go in depth with my explanations, but y'all know me, I'm not the best at these kind of videos, so it just becomes a jumbled mess. um but what I want to talk about is just this whole beef, really the hypocrisy shown from Kendrick's side in this beef, the stupidity that is being shown up from the fans, and not only and also the racism. And I'm not really somebody who likes to get likes to talk deep into like these aspects just because from my channel, I just want to keep it like tame. Even if I talk about something that is kind of deep, like with Gideon, the whole predator catchers thing, this it gets kind of into a deep hole. I just don't really want to talk about that often. Me and this channel's not really built like that, really. But seeing the hypocrisies in Kendrick's side of this beef, I just had to talk about it because it just didn't make any sense to me. Like, the first one I'm gonna bring up. I just hit my mic. That's my fault. Kendrick calling Drake a colonizer because he's mixed makes absolutely no sense. And then you have a lot of the fans trying to back it up, which really the fans are like, I'd say the second most annoying about this beef, because a lot of y'all Kendrick friends, all or like just even like outside listeners, are already coming into this beef like already hating Drake for whatever reason. I don't really understand the hatred for Drake. Maybe it's just because I don't care, but y'all already come to this beef hating for Drake. So y'all really just gonna root for whatever Kendrick says without even really diving into what either of them say in their lyrics. Y'all don't really y'all don't really pay attention to what Kendrick says, and y'all don't even want to even try to hear what Drake says. It shouldn't be like that. You should want to hear from both ends, right? You should want to hear from both ends. That's really how you should treat any like rap beef. You shouldn't just be like automatically just like one sided. I mean, yeah, you could have like somebody you want to root for, but you shouldn't be just so one sided where you're just gonna blatantly ignore uh who you're opposing, right? But back to what I was going at. Kendrick calling him a colonizer because he's mixed, and then the fans stepping in saying that, oh, he's a colonizer because he mainly grew up like he didn't grow up hard, like, well, in a hard environment like Kendrick did. He grew up around white people. That's a dumb reason. That makes no sense. You're saying that he Drake Drake is not allowed to dabble in to first and foremost, it really just depends on how you grew up. In a general sense, whether you like when you're mixed or multiracial, you have the full right to dabble in which culture you want to dabble into. It also depends on how you grew up as well. If you for like let's say if you're mixed with German and Filipino, right? Just random thought. If you grew more, you grew up more like let's say like your mom is like Filipino, you grew up more in the like with your mom more, you're gonna feel more closer to your Filipino heritage. Or if if you grew up more with your dad, you're probably gonna feel more closer to your your German heritage, right? In Drake's case, he most likely grew up with, I don't know his backstory. He most likely grew up more with his mom, hence he feels more on that side. But he's and still in some aspects you still dabble into black culture. But his dad being also part of the music industry, that helped him more get more into his culture. You're saying that oh you're mixed with oh yeah, you're mixed with black and white, you can't dabble into your culture. Who are you to even determine that? To determine what somebody, you know, what heritage someone feels more closer to, or what they want to like be more invested to and stuff like that. Who are you to even make that judgment? This, I don't know if I even mentioned, like, this is what I mean by like the racism people have, and especially because this is coming from a lot of pro-blacks, and a lot of pro-blacks are racist, and a lot of them are racist, but don't want to even like just like to hide the fact that they try to hide the fact that they're racist, try to make excuses. Oh, I'm not racist. No, you are, and you simply need to own up to it. And for what I know, it doesn't make any more sense because Kendrick's own wife, I'm not sure. Well, I'm pretty sure they're married. Kendrick's wife is mixed. So you're saying that she can't dabble into either side depending on what she feels more closer to, or like okay, like she doesn't really dabble into her black culture. So she wants to learn more, get invested more to she has interest in it. You're saying that she just can't dabble into that? Do you have these racist feelings you hold towards Drake? Do you feel the same thing about your wife? If not, then why? Moving on to the next hypocrisy before I really get jumbled up again is the pedophilic aspect. Well, the pedophile allegation he's doing to Drake, and I'm highlighting the fact that it's an allegation because he really threw that at Drake with no concrete evidence. It's like he threw that out there for the sole purpose of making the fans of having his fans come to his defense, or like try to do the work instead of him, which is stupid to do in a rap beef. But and I also say because from what I researched, right, people bring up Drake kissed an underage girl, but according to the state it took place, she was of age. In the state she was in, I don't remember. I'm going off dome, so excuse me for that. She was of age, and you have to, with these type of things, you kind of do have to go by state. If it takes place in the U.S., you have to go by state because the U.S. in a weird way doesn't have a real general age of consent. Like just the country as a whole doesn't have a full general age of consent. We just believe it's 18, but in a realistic sense, it's split between states that use 16, 17, or 18 as the age of consent. And the 18 rule is the one that is used the least. It has the least amount of states that uses the 18 rule because most of them use the 16, 17 rule, and plus each state has their own set of sexual assault laws and I'm not gonna say the word. I'm just call I'm gonna say unconsensual laws. This then all that, right? But going by that, she was in the state she was in. She was of age when that happened. Am I advocating? Yeah, am I advocating? Oh yeah, he's seen the full right to kiss a 17-year-old. No, because I do, like, I understand. Y'all feel weird about the age guys. I do too. I feel it's weird for you to be however old he was when that happened, kissing a 17-year-old. But being realistic, I can't sit up here and act like, I guess, this social warrior. I'm just, like, for better wording, because a lot of 17-year-olds do get down, and that's not even just like, I'm not just like, I'm going off of that from. I'm not saying I've experienced that. I haven't done that. I didn't do anything. I'm just saying, like, people from, like, my high school. There's a lot of 17-year-olds that, lost that, went wild and lost their V, or even before that, to be real. They lost a V car. Some of them getting, if we're going to talk about 17-year-old girls, a lot of them do go wild. They have sex. They get pregnant. They have babies and all that. And a lot of them do go for older dudes. A lot of them, for sure. Like, I remember meeting them. Uh, like, it was my freshman year. I remember meeting a senior. She was 17, and she was dating somebody that was in college. You know, and of course, I'm in California, so, like, it's especially weird. Like, it's especially weird, but it still happens. Like, it's a case for sure, but it still happens because a lot of 17-year-old girls don't care. They want to go wild and, saying, go after, even especially go after older guys, especially if they got money. That's what a lot of older dudes use. And yes, it's very weird that you're going after young girls and, using your age and money and influence to, persuade them to go out with you. But I can't really sit up here and, really go at Drake. Like, to a degree I can, but I can't fully do it because I don't speak up about, the things happening in my own area. A lot of y'all don't really speak about the things that's happening in your area. You just want to focus on the celebrity world and flame them so hard. But then the same thing, worse, is happening, outside of that space, but you don't speak up about it. And the thing that about the allegation that Kendrick threw, and there was some channel, I don't remember the name, but she mentioned that, the people that was helping Kendrick, you know was like, other artists that were also dissing Drake along with Kendrick. When Kendrick said that, they was co-signing with him up until that point. They went silent. Why? Because they've also done things with underage girls. They also, like like Metro Boomin. Of course, we've seen the tweets of Metro Boomin, resurface, right? Seen those. I think DMX talk about doing something with underage girl. Tyga was with, I believe, Kylie Jenner, if I'm not mistaken, when she was underage. Ruby Rose was being passed around when she was a teenager. Or even the wildest case, Biggie talking about unconsensualing Raven Simone, and at the time she was a toddler. She was a toddler. Now, some of y'all probably gonna make the session. He was saying a lot of wild stuff back then, and he for sure was. But point is, a lot of rappers have done things with underage women, or just underage people in general. They have done those, right? They're not gonna co-sign what Kendrick said because I mean they would be in the wrong. They know for a fact they're gonna get called out. If they try to co-sign on that, that's why they went just completely silent. They didn't say anything when Kendrick was bringing it up. And the fact that Kendrick wants to, you know, throw out again, like I said earlier, he didn't come at Drake with that allegation with receipts. He just threw that out there, right? For him to come after Drake on that, he would then also have to come after people who he's worked with, who's also done those things. And speaking of receipts, this is what I have the issue with the fans now, like the stupidity within the fans, is when it came to the Hard Part 6, I believe, right? The Hard Part 6, Drake was like, okay, Kendrick, you want to throw all these allegations my way, and I'm disproving them in these songs. So let's start talking receipts. He puts the ball in Kendrick's court. He gives Kendrick the floor to bring up these receipts for all the claims that he's making. Right? For some reason, y'all want to label that as him waving the white flag. No. When you're doing a beef like this, in any sense, whether rap or like whatever, right? You can't just be throwing allegations without proper evidence. You can't just be throwing claims out there without receipts. Drake was not waving the white flag. He was asking Kendrick to bring up receipts for the claims he was making, because Kendrick did not do that. All Kendrick done was just rap, right? Rap with pre-recorded disses, because what I mean, he wouldn't just push them out that if they just weren't already recorded, right? Because he really, like, from what I read into, he really did not disprove anything that Kendrick said. I mean, I said that wrong. Kendrick didn't disprove anything that, you know what I'm saying, that Drake was saying. He didn't back up his claims either. So he's making himself look wrong in this sense. But apparently, like, a lot of, well, I know for a fact there are people that see beyond this. I've seen a ton of videos where people's calling it out, right? But a lot of y'all fans just still eat it up and just don't even like ask, like, don't even bother to really look if he really disproved the claims or really back up the claims. Again, y'all already came in hating Drake, so you're just gonna just automatically take in whatever Kendrick says and just try to deem it as fact without even questioning anything. I'm gonna just keep it at this before I even make myself feel more like make myself get more jumbled and all that. Bottom line is, Kendrick is a massive hypocrite. He just make dumb decisions. I'm not gonna dabble into the whole if he's overrated or not. That's not my focus for this video. This beef brought out the stupidity and racism within the fans. Then I guess the new motive now is that we're praising Kendrick for being a hater, which I could have sworn we were against that. We were against hater energy, but I guess it's cool. I guess it's cool for Kendrick to just be a hater and just start throwing out. It's in a weird sense he kind of was a hater, because a real hater, they would just start saying stuff. They just start saying stuff without even backing up their claims. They just be all talk with no proof or No proof or action, but I guess guess Kendrick somehow made it cool, so he's cool for doing it. But if anybody, I promise you, if anybody else were to do the same thing, that they get flamed for it, it just doesn't add up. Just doesn't make any sense. This beef just didn't make any sense. It's why I initially just it's why I feel glad I initially tuned out of it, and I started hearing like the different claims. I wanted to check if these were legitimate claims, and that's what got me into like actually diving in later into the topic. But I wasn't rooting for either side because I don't have any hatred towards Drake. I don't know where it came from. And Kendrick, I mean, I like both artists, but just seeing him beef was like, okay, this is an interesting beef. I'm just gonna see where this leads to, and um, I'm just not happy with Kendrick on this one. I'm just not happy. I can't really, in a way, I can't really side. I'm not saying out of them won the beef, but I'm just saying just not really happy with Kendrick on this one, you know. But with that, before I really just jumble myself up again, see you whenever.